Africa is now a member. You and I, we need to lose it forever. Africa is now a member. You and I, we need to keep it from good. Nigeria is now a member. You and I, love it or lose it forever. Nigeria is now a member. You and I, love it and keep it from good. Freedom is now a member. Together we need to lose it forever. Freedom is now a member. Together we need to keep it from. Let me see God. See God. And you Africa is now on that. You better win it or lose it forever. Africa is now on that. You better win it and keep it from. Nigeria is now on that. You better love it or leave it forever. Nigeria is now on that. You better love it and keep it from. Freedom is now on that. Together we need to lose it forever. Freedom is now on that. Together we need to keep it from. And there's a gospel. I don't know why I'm trying to come. And there's a gospel. And there's a trying to come. See now,
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. What's happening? JP Icon, good evening. Good evening, Ma. Good evening, Nenford. And Benjamin, good evening. Yes, welcome, Queen. So we go straight to the point. Listen, fam members, tonight is going to be a great night. And as we gather tonight, we gather not just to talk. You see, IOM, here in IOM, we don't just talk, but we remember to act. So tonight, we have come together as a family to unmask and to confront a wickedness. Yes, a wickedness that never truly died. I repeat, we are here to confront the wicked chains that never truly got loosened. So it is only changed faces. And once upon a time, fam members, once upon a time, the white man packed our ancestors. Once upon a time, the white man packed our forefathers in chains, shackled. They were shackled, stacked like cargoes. You know, when you send cargoes to Africa or send cargoes from Africa to Europe, they were packed like cargoes in the ship and they were whipped. They were whipped like and sold, whipped and sold like cattles. We call it Ausanama. They were sold like cattle, stripped of their name and language, and also of their soul. That was the transatlantic slave trade. But today, fam members, today, the same evil, you will not believe that the same evil still walk around amongst us. Yes, now it wears a different sorry, I had to remove, don't put her. Now it wears a different suit. It hides behind jobs. Yes, I repeat, this slave trading hide behind fake jobs, fake marriages, fake travel, fake digital screens. Yes, and it's called modern day slavery. It also, if you may know this, fam members, it also wears a black face. Once upon a time, it was a white man. Now it is also a black man. They still buy and sell human beings for sex, for labor, for scams. Yes, all in the name of money. What does it mean? Tell me, fam members. I can see your comments coming. What does it mean when a woman is drugged? What does it mean when a woman is raped? She's raped. And what happens? She is told that she is owing. I repeat, a woman is drugged, she is raped, and she's told that she owes, that she's owing, that she's in debt, that she owes them. What does it mean when a child is made to beg? When a child is sent to pickpockets in foreign lands? What does it mean when a young man is promised Europe, Obodoyibo, Japa? Yes. But when he goes jabbering, he ends up in cyber slavery compound. It means slavery never ended. It just became more organized, more digitalized, more deceptive. Fam members, July 30th was the World Day Against Trafficking in Person. The theme for this year is Human Trafficking is an Organized Crime and the Exploitation. Our guest tonight, we are a day. Our guests tonight are no strangers. We are not hiding them. They are no strangers to IOM. In fact, they are IOM warriors in the field. They fight this battle like the front lines of, they are the front lines of truth and justice. They walk beside survivors. They cry tears. Our speakers, they cry tears. The world doesn't see. You know them. You can see his face on the screen. One of them is our own human rights scholar, IOM professor. I call him he for she. His name is Dr. Temitope. Can you please give him a round of applause? Yes, welcome, Dr. Temitope. Fantastic. Fan members are saying, good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. Yes, good evening, sir. Yeah, so you're welcome, Dr. Temitope. And again, our one and only IOM fearless activist. Our one and only IOM fearless activist, and she specialized against human trafficking in person. Yes, our own human rights, Madam Hope. we gave her Dr. Hope. She's also here. Dr. Hope, we can't see you. Can we hear your voice? Dr. Hope. Oh, she's disappeared. She has disappeared. That's fine. She will still come back. Both are voices, both Dr. Temitope and Madam Hope, they are voices you know and you love. I can see the comment section. They are screaming, oh dear me. Let's see. Beramaka, okay, is saying something else. And let's see. Khadija say, I must greet our amazing IOM family members, specially. We want to specially welcome you to tonight's program, topic trafficking in person. Please stay tuned and enjoy every bit of the discussion. Let's also use this medium to welcome Dr. Temitope. It's been a while, sir. We missed you. Please, fans, don't forget to share on all your social media handles. Thank you once again, Khadija. You know how to summarize our topic. And I want to say that, farm members, human trafficking is indeed an organized crime and will end the exploitation. We are hoping to join the voices that are fighting against human trafficking. Please join us in welcoming our own IOM speakers. Dr. Temitope, I don't know if you're frozen. Can you say hi? I think he is also frozen. What is happening? I may need to get them on the phone. I think I'm going to call both of them on the phone because they are struggling to come behind the scene. Yes, let me get them on the phone. While they are coming, let's go straight to farm engagement time whilst we are waiting for them. So farm members, once again, I say good evening. I miss you, although I spoke to you recently. Yes, let's answer some questions before Dr. Temitope and Madam Hope joins us again. So farm members, I want to know from you, yes or no, do you believe slavery still exists? Yes or no? Do you believe slavery, human trafficking, and their gimmicks are about to get exposed? Correct. Thank you. So, yes or no, Shijoke said yes. Aminat said yes. Oni said yes, slavery still exists. Obioma, I don't know what you said. And Tamaru, I don't know what you said. Yeah, so Colin said, this topic is so interesting. May we never be slaves anymore again. May the labor of our forefathers never go in vain. Amen. Yes, so people say yes, and truly, yes. The answer is yes. I usually don't say it, but I'm saying it. Yes, the answer is yes. Number two, true or false? True or false? Human trafficking only affects women or girls. True or false? True or false? I'm having internet challenge, connecting and disconnecting. All right. They say they are experiencing internet challenge. True or false? Human trafficking only affects women and girls. True or false? Aisha said true. JP Icon said false. Modupe Comfort said true. Amina said false. Oni said false. I don't know what Collins is answering. He said yes. The question is true or false. Oni said false. Gift said true. Tochukwu said false. Chibe said false. Collins said true. And Apples Tamaru said false. I will give you the answer, false. Men are increasingly, especially boys, are increasingly being targeted for human trafficking. and they are forced to do drugs. They are forced to do crime, and they are locked up to do it. Yes, the answer is false. Not just women and girls. Also, men and boys are also huge targets for human trafficking. The next question, number 3, said, when you hear human trafficking, what's the first word that comes to mind? When you hear human trafficking, fantastic, we've got Madam Hope. Thank gosh. When you hear human trafficking, what's the first word that comes to your mind? So, Madam Hope, we are asking question and answer sessions. Let me connect. Yeah. So, when you hear human trafficking, what do you think about? When you hear human trafficking, what do you think about? Slavery. Okay? Illegal movement of people. Okay? Fantastic. Slavery. Okay? Someone said brainwashing. They think of brainwashing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Evil doing. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. What do you think about evil? Fantastic. Slavery. Fantastic. They are all correct. Pain, suffering. Pain, suffering. So question number 4. Which of these is not a form of trafficking? Question number 4. Which of these is not trafficking? Forced labor, is it not trafficking or is it trafficking? Selling organs, is it not trafficking or is it trafficking? Sexual exploitation or none of the above? So the question is, which of these is not a form of trafficking? A, forced labor. B, selling organ. C, sexual exploitation. D, none of the above. Agnes said none of the above. Gogwen said none of the above. Selling of human organs, slavery. Aminat said none of the above. Yes, the answer is none of the above. They are all indeed a form of human trafficking. Selling organ is a form of, they are human being, isn't it? Sexual exploitation, of course, is a form of human trafficking. Forced labor is definitely a form of human trafficking. I don't usually give answers, but this one I am giving answers. Question number 5. Yes or no? Would you recognize the signs if someone close to you is being trafficked? Will you recognize the signs that someone close to you is being trafficked? Yes or no? Will you recognize the signs? Chijoke said yes. Yes, what will be the sign? Amina said yes. So if you say yes, tell me the sign. Momo said yes. So what will you see as the sign? Obey say exactly. So when you say yes, Tochuku say yes. So what is the sign? Yes. Tell me the sign you recognize. Question number 6. True or false? Most traffickers are strangers who randomly kidnap people. True or false? Most of these traffickers, they are strangers, so avoid strangers. They are traffickers. Is it true? Are they just strangers? True or false? The question is not yes or no. It's true or false. Amina said false. Fantastic. No, make I no lie. They are within us. True or false? JP Icon said false. Aisha said false. Obiano said false. Oni said false. And Modupe said yes, because the person will be afraid and they will be in pain. Yeah, that's the science. All right, thank you. Yes, the answer is false. In fact, traffickers are our family members, our friends, best friends, relatives, our neighbors, those people we know are mostly traffickers. Mostly, yes, strangers can also be traffickers, but trust me, they are within us. So, one word, what does freedom mean to you? I repeat, what does freedom mean to you deep down? What does freedom mean to you? One word. When you hear freedom, what does that mean? What does freedom mean to you? May God protect us. What does freedom? Independence. Yes, fantastic. Freedom means peace of mind. Fantastic. Freedom means first in, I don't understand. Freedom means peace and independence. Okay. Now the next second to last question. Um, yes or no? Should traffickers be sentenced like terrorists? I don't know what's happening. Your voice suddenly became low. Okay. I'm straining my ears. So, Madam Hope, leave and come back. Madam Hope, leave and come back. It will rectify itself. Yes. All right. So, yes or no, should traffickers be sentenced like terrorists? Someone is tagging. Yeah. Let's do no video. It will be better. Let me. Oh, sorry. Yes. So, yes, you said yes, they should. Fantastic. Now, the last, this is second to last now. Where do you think most traffickers, where do you think most trafficked Nigerians are taken? I repeat, where do you think most trafficked Nigerians are taken? Are they taken to A, Europe? Or do you think they're taken to B, Middle East? Or do you think they're taken to C, Southeast Asian? Or do you think it's all of the above? Where do you think most trafficked Nigerians are taken? Is it A, B, Agnes said D, all of the above. Oni said D, all of the above. Obianyo said all of the above. Fantastic. So the last question, and we go straight to our speakers. The last question, family, is fill in the blank space. Fill in the blank space. The opposite of trafficking is, what is the opposite of trafficking? We've said it a million times tonight. The opposite of trafficking is kidnapping. I like that. So this is not another word. I like that. I mean that. I like that. Someone said slavery. So let me repeat. The opposite, not the similarity, not another word. What is the opposite of trafficking? Is slavery? Is slavery? No. Is, someone said robbery. I like that. What is the opposite? Eforami said independence. Yes. Independence. Yes. Freedom. Absolutely yes. Liberation. Yes. Opposite of man, woman. Opposite of trafficking, freedom, independence, liberation. Yes, that is indeed correct. All right, so right now, I will ask our speakers to unmute and say greetings, because it's been a while for both Dr. Temitope and Madam Ho. It's been a while. We missed you guys. Honestly, I think I missed you more. So, Dr. Temitope, if you can hear me, can you please say one or two greetings to family members? Dr. Temitope, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Madam Hope, do you want to say a word of greeting to family members? Then we start.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely loud and clear.
Yeah. Good evening, family. I truly missed each and every one of us. I want to tell you that it's Nurse Angel that wanted us to miss all of us. But finally, she has repented, and we are here today. Love you all.
I love you too. Thank you for loving me. I know you said all, but I know
I
you
didn't
mean
say I love you, I said all.
you said I love you, Nurse Angel. Thank you, dear. I love you too. You know, our love is so special. Don't worry, we won't let the family members know. They are laughing at me. Oh my God. And Talk said, good evening and welcome, Madam Hope. Yes. So, yes, Dr. Temitope, do you want to unmute, Madam Hope? Thank you. Always mute after talking. Dr. Temitope, do you want to greet the family members? Dr. Temitope, I think he can't hear me. Oh, dear me. Let me kick him out so he will come back. That's the best thing I can do. It will help. So, Madam Hope, since you're the one standing, I want to start with you, if that is okay to do. Tonight, I will give a summary of it later on. But tonight is a topic you're so passionate about. I repeat, you are so passionate about the topic. Today, we've been sharing your activism on our page. You have done a whole lot to, and it's like a personal fight for you. And I want to thank you so much, Madam Hope. To you, you are one person, but to us, we hear a voice for the voiceless. Thank you for your activism in stopping human trafficking. We have a question for you, Madam Hope. And we want to ask you, Madam Hope, just imagine that you are in front of the president of Nigeria, or in front of your commissioner, or better said, in front of the governor of Anambra State, and you have 1 minute to speak to them to about ending human trafficking. What will you say, Madam Hope? You're muted.
God will help me. Yeah, God will help me with this 1 minute of a thing. But all I have to say is that His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, I wish to let you know that your children is now being enslaved in the worst form of slavery known as human trafficking. This is the modern day slavery. And they are being enslaved because Nigeria is no longer creating an enabling environment for them. We have a total system failure. We have our resources that's being mismanaged. Our youths, our brain we are experiencing brain drain. We've lost all our intelligence, all our resources, all our able, formidable youth force that's supposed to bring the development of this nation. They are being enslaved willingly and unwillingly because Nigeria has failed them. And we are calling on you today to create an enabling environment. Nigeria is producing cocoa, but our people are enslaving themselves to Europe to go and work in cocoa processing industries because our farmers cannot process cocoa in Nigeria. The cost of production is very high. The cost of fuel, the cost of power is very high. Our people will produce cocoa and sell it to Europe, and our people will sell their farmland and their family land, borrow money to go to Europe to go out and enslave and work in the cocoa processing industry for them to, and they are being enslaved. We have Ajokuta, we have a lot of resources in this nation. Why can't we resuscitate the Ajokuta steel industry? And we know that it will create millions of jobs, directly, indirectly, and other enabling business, small businesses thriving around it. We are calling on you today to save our people, to stop this enslavement, to save our children, because you are the only one that is in the right position to make sure that we use the resources available in this country so that these resources can empower, we can use it, we can maximize the talents that God has given to our population. We have a lot of things in this nation. Can you please come to the aid so that our children will stop being enslaved, just like in the old slavery? You are in the right position to use the resources of this nation, to bring development and empower our youth and stop sending our children to slavery. That is all I have to say for now.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful. Amazing. Thank you very much. That is amazingly stated. And whilst we are waiting for Dr. Temitope, let me ask you the second question, Madam Hope. The second question I have for you tonight is, Madam Hope, we know you are in the front line. Or before I ask you this question, do you want to define, Madam Hope, do you want to define what does, you've talked about how we, and it's painful, how we have cocoa, but we go abroad to work in cocoa farm. How we have this, we go abroad to do it because the country has truly failed us. So the next question is, what is actually human trafficking? Can you say it in an ABCD language for farm members to understand what we are actually talking about tonight?
Okay. When you talk about human trafficking, we are talking of trafficking in persons. We are talking of slave traffic. We are talking of trade in human beings. Reducing human beings to commodity. You trade with them in many forms. And when you talk about trading, you are talking about buying and selling and making profit. So trafficking in person is trade in human beings for whatever purpose, in different purpose. But if you want to define human trafficking, you look at it from three elements. The first element is the act itself. Then the means and the purpose. So when you talk about the act, we are talking about recruiting, moving people, using deception, using coercion, using force, using abduction, taking advantage of the vulnerability of the people. You are talking about moving them, transporting them from one place to the other. It could be within the country, it could be within the state, it could be within the nation, it could be across the nation. You are talking about receiving those people. You are talking about harboring those people. You are talking about buying those people. You are talking about selling and buying of those people. You are looking at how did you do it? For what purpose? Is it for the purpose of, debt bondage, slavery, like manner? Is it for organ harvesting? Is it for domestic servitude? Is it for forced labor? Is it for forced prostitution? Name it. All at the end for the exploitation of these people, because you are making money out of it. It has a sister which we call smuggling of migrants. Is part of the movement of the people. So, and this is an organized crime. It has people who is at the source state or source nation, the recruiters. It has people who smuggle and transport these people, who prepare fake documents, or even who prepare genuine documents. We have people who move these people, who uses their transport company, who have agents who facilitates the transportation. It also has the transit, that is this movement, the transit countries where they move. It also have destination where they are finally being sold, purchased, exploited, and name it. So when you look at trafficking, and it involves a lot of people, we call it syndicate. The recruiters, the transporters, the exploiters, the people who bought it. They also have different people who plays different roles, which involves even individuals, companies, in law enforcement agents, corrupt law enforcement agents, people who also monitors, do the work of monitoring the victim, making sure that they never escape. There is a lot of things that when we begin to look into it, but when you talk about trafficking, these are the three areas. You look at it from the point of recruitment, point of movement, point of destination, where they are finally being exploited. Sometimes they're also being exploited on transit. There are nations that are known as a transit nation. There are destination countries. And the way you look at it, it's not just, trafficking is not just transnational. It is also, we have internal trafficking and we have external trafficking.
Well, internal trafficking and external trafficking. Can you shed a bit of light on internal trafficking?
Okay. When we talk about internal trafficking, a young girl or a young man might have been told, you reside in Ondo, or you reside in Benue State, or you are in Anambra, or you are in Lagos, or you are in Abakaliki, and they'll tell you, you have finished working, you have finished school, or you have not even finished school. Instead of you languishing, you are here, look at what you are here. That will help you go to Abuja. I'll help you go to Lagos. I'll help you go to Port Harcourt. I'll take you to one of the cities where you work and make money. You don't need to worry. There are some people there, the people there, they will provide accommodation for you. They will employ you. The only thing you needed is to work and pay me back the money I have to transport you. And for you, your Messiah has come. You actually, you are strong enough. You are still a youth, that there's no job that you are assigned to, whether skilled, unskilled, or professionally, anybody can be a victim. They will now move you. But most at times, the internal trafficking is mostly unskilled and semi-skilled people that suffer that, or people that are illiterate, that didn't have access to education. The main thing is that everybody who is up to the age of maybe 15, 14, 16 and above, they felt that they are strong enough to do, because some of them will be told, you do have a sales girl, you are going to help the madam take care of their children, they will enroll you into school. Even children that is even like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they will tell the parents, I will take them to city, maybe from one of the communities in your village, and they'll say, I will take the child to the city. There is a woman that they are well doing. They have little children. They just needed somebody there who will be helping them to carry their little baby, or the child, she'll be going to school with their own children. And for you have the woman is a widow, a poor person, or have more than number of children they can cater for. It's okay, see, somebody is there willing to help my child go to school, they willingly release the child and they will take them. But you find out at the end, the child will never see the four walls of the school. The child will be kept to babysit the child. This is There might be other children in that house who is even older than her. The child might even be like 8 years or 6 years or 7 years, while they even have like 10, 12 years in that house. But this one that they brought will be the one that will do all the washing, all the house chores and everything. Make sure these children, they were prepared, they go to school, they wake her up around 4 3 a.m. The child might go to bed around 12 1 a.m. You consider the time that this child will be kept as a domestic servant, domestic servitude. They will enslave this child, never go to school. They will not even give the child real meal. Is the leftover food of this madam's children that the child eats, or even the spoiled food. That's the one the child eats. The child will not even sleep with them in the children's room or even a bed or mat. Sometimes they use carton to sleep under the staircase. So the child doesn't belong to that family. That child is even their dogs. If they have dogs in the house, that their dog has a plate, has a portion of food, has where to sleep and where to eat. But this innocent child have been brought from the city, from the community, from the village, rural community to the city, is being enslaved, never going to school, being used for house chores from morning till night. Sometimes even after that, they will, even when these children have gone to school, when she finished, they might even send her on the street to go and start street hawking, either sachet water or anything, selling and bringing money into the house. Sometimes these children are even giving out to people who claim to be blind, but they were never blind. They will buy these children from the people who brought them. They will use dark goggle to close their eyes, and sometimes use something to make their eyes to stick so that they will not be tempted to open it. And they will carry these children to be taking them to beg on the streets, and they will teach them what to say. Please help my mommy, please help my daddy, and all those stuff. They were not their parents. These children are being rented for street begging. Meanwhile, they've gone to the communities. Somebody is there who is known to be going to community to get these ones and be, retailing them out, giving them out to people, to buyers, to exploiters, people who uses them to make this money. Then there are some that will even be told you are going to do house help, or go and work as in a restaurant, or go and work as sales girl. When they move them to Abuja or whatever, they put them into brothels and they start using them for prostitution. Forced prostitution. This is the things that you can see within the state. I know that of a case with the people that the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs rescued at Oba in Anambra State. Their girlfriends brought them all the way from Ebonyi State to Anambra and sold them to their madam 30,000 naira. And these girls were meant to work as prostitutes, force them to work, and even 2 days is enough for them to have made the 30,000 naira they paid on their head. But they were kept there and never let go.
Okay. Madam Hope, can you hear me? Okay, you've muted. Thank you very much, Madam Hope. Your story, as harsh and as hard as it sounds, is the reality on ground. Before we go into the legalities or the judgments or cases, I want to ask you another question. I feel really touched with your stories, so I feel sad. Madam Hope, tonight, farm members, tonight is an important night. Please, whatever you're doing, get your husband. Please, husbands, if you are here and you're a man, get your wives, get your girlfriends. If you're a woman here, please get your husbands, get your boyfriends, and whomever you are, if you're not married, you don't have a boyfriend, get your brothers and sisters, get your parents, let them listen to tonight's show, because most times, most times, we don't know what is happening around us. Please, you sit as a family, get your children. Most importantly, get your children to sit in this talk show, because most times they also target children. They target them and lure them. Get them to sit on this talk show and listen, please. Madam Hope, I want to ask you a question, another question. You have sat with victims. You are, we see you, your activism, how you rescue people. You've sat with victims. You've seen their wounds. You've seen their physical and emotional pains or trauma. How would you describe the face of modern day slavery, especially unlike the olden day slavery we see with more of a physical scar? Modern day slavery sometimes does not have a physical scar. How will you describe the face of modern day slavery?
Okay, if a young lady is in Nigeria, she has a boyfriend, and she has been exposed to sex, and maybe in the university, or maybe she felt on her own that she can just serve as call girl or whatever. She can go on her own, do prostitution at her own pace. You won't say that she's not sexually active. And somebody now told her, this thing you are just doing local champion in this village, is it not better? I have connection. I can link you up. You can travel abroad. You can make your money in euros, dollars, pounds, name it. And it could even be the boyfriend, the person who claimed to be boyfriend. It could even be a friend of the boyfriend. It could even be somebody within the community that she knows. And she now gave consent, accepted to go and make her money. But when the young lady finally got to the destination, you will now find out that, and most of the times they might even take them on the oath that, just you have to take oath to promise us that after spending money to take you there, that when you go there, you have to work and pay us back the expenses you made, and you pay us back and you continue your business. Yes, she's aware that she's going to do prostitution, right? And she now accepted, thinking that it is the way they said it that it will be. Only for her, when she gets there, she found out that, one, they will retrieve all her documents. That's the first point of thing they will do from her. And when they will now start bringing men to the point that even sometimes up to 50 men in a day to sleep with her, which is not what she bargained for. And that money is not coming to her. That's another thing. The money goes to the madam. And she doesn't have the strength and capacity to take 50, 60 men in a day. When she refuses, they will chain her and put her on that chain and shackle. And they will start drugging her to be hyperactive to make sure that she is able to attend to such number, because the more men, the more money for the madam. Now, it may even be that they will even rent her out to go and have sex with some people that will pay for their dogs. And when this young lady gets to the point of exploitation and she finds out that she's going to sleep with dogs, and she refuses to do that. Sometimes they murder them. Sometimes they forcefully chain them and the dog will have sex with them. You tell me, when this young lady, after having all this experience, how do you think her heart, does she still see herself as a human being? She has lost faith in humanity. Her heart is yearning for freedom. They monitor every step that she makes. If she dares to escape, there are even the police that she's supposed to run to, some of them are paid by their madams. Because me and you, what we are talking about here, we are talking of billion-dollar business. They have the people who monitors them 2-4. They don't move around anyhow. Even food, they will starve you. They put you conditions. I may not be able to tell you what these people go through. At that point, that's why the UN came up with a campaign called Blue Heart Campaign. If you look at my photo, you will see a symbol of a little blue heart pin on my dress. If you look at the logo of my organization, you always see this blue heart. It's a UN symbol. It's a blue heart campaign against human trafficking. That blue heart represents two hearts. The first heart is the heart of the victim that is crying and yearning for freedom. The second heart is the heart of the trafficker, who has a heart that has been seared with iron, that doesn't have human feeling and conscience anymore, that can degrade and dehumanize another fellow human being to the point just for the purpose of making money out of that person. So what do you think that even if when that young lady or even young man, because we are not talking about only girls now, even men are being exploited sexually, when they are finally being rescued, what do you think that is happening? The psychology, the traumatic experience, they find it difficult to recover. They are no longer human beings again. They've lost touch with humanity. They cannot even trust anybody anymore. And these people will not just threaten them, they also threaten their family in Nigeria, because they have syndicates. They have people who are ready to even murder and kill their family if they fail to do what they have been asked to do there. Sometimes they even use them to commit crimes. Sometimes they even use them to peddle drugs. And sometimes these girls or these young men will become addicted to drugs. It will become another problem. Let me hold it here.
Madam Hope, you have repeatedly talked about consent. You said some may agree based on one thing or the other. But that is irrelevant. I think you're united under international law. Your United Nations has what they call Palermo Protocol.
Palermo Protocol. Let me just hit it there. Why I brought up the consent is for people to understand that I gave consent to go and do prostitution. When I got there, what I am faced is not what we agreed on. So consent is immaterial.
Fantastic.
Under UN protocol, that I gave consent to leave Nigeria. If I knew that I will sleep as much as 50, 60 men in a day, I'm going to sleep with dogs. Do you think, and I'll be drugged, and the money is not coming to me, it's going to madam. If you are the person, do you think that you will still give that consent? That's
So
why in human trafficking, consent is immaterial.
good. So because most of the consent received, like you said, is out of the seat. No human
It's
being.
under deception
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coercion.
So I wanted you to hit it hard because you said consent to this and you didn't really hit it hard. Thank you for hitting it hard. Thank you, Madam Hope. Dr. Temitope, thank you for coming back. Dr. Temitope, we want to ask you a question. And the question is, the theme for 2025 human rights says human trafficking is an organized crime and the exploitation. So, as a scholar, Dr. Temitope, what is the thing or one thing you believe can actually end human trafficking? Thank you.
Thank you very much. In our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my hand. The beautiful part of this slogan is that it has become more like the basic alphabet I learned in primary school. It is now integrated and is now part of my lifestyle. I can't forget that. And our Mind Talk show is always in my mind. It flows through my blood vessels. And for every one of us listening in the different parts of the world, our destiny is in our hands. You can't take chances. The quality of the knowledge you gain here will help guide you to take constructive and healthy decisions when times really comes. You should never be a victim of human trafficking, organ trafficking. And that's why we are enlightening you, young or old, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in every part of the world. The quality of the knowledge is not quantifiable. So please understand. So how do we curb it? It's very simple. One of the basic things we can do is what we're doing here. Increase the level of awareness, increase the level of education. It is popularly said, ignorance is not an excuse in law. And if you think knowledge, education is expensive, try ignorance. Please never claim to say to anybody that you do not know. Now you know human trafficking is real. It's a syndicate. It's connecting different persons in the world. And like Madam, uh, sorry,
Oh,
the first speaker, Madam Hope, Dr. Hope rightly said, it is a multi-billion-dollar investment. People daily feeds in their millions of dollars on it. Nobody is immune. Please get this knowledge clear. Let's increase awareness, let's increase education, and thank God for Nurse Angel. You can't tell the magnitude, the depth. You cannot tell the wealth of impact this is going to make. Lives is going to transform. You can't pay for it in money terms. The younger ones are getting this information, the youths are getting it. There is nothing like Japa syndrome. There is nothing like the degree of deception is very high. Education, enlightenment, information is primary, is basic, is essential. The other thing we need to do is very essential if we must curb it. There is nothing like anybody above the law, social justice. There should be equal treatment for the rich and the poor. Let's encourage that people in their various countries enjoy social justice. Not that only the rich get richer, the poor getting poorer. It enhances poverty. Social injustice enhances human trafficking. It predisposes people to that. So we should ensure we engender.
oh my
Hello?
God.
Yes,
Yes.
social very essential. Yes. And okay, let me just mention one more, which is very, very important too. You see, we must be in the business of enforcing the law. Perpetrators must never be enjoyed to live freely on the streets anymore. Without an option of fine, they must be prosecuted and allowed to face the wrath of the law. Thank you, ma.
Ah, Dr. Temitope, you've given us the introduction, body of the essay, and conclusion with recommendation. Hey, Wahala.
I
Thank
want
you.
to say something.
All right, there. Thank you.
Just to throw a little light in addition to what Professor has said, and you talked about organized crime. I just want to use one scenario because Prof has made us to know that anybody can be a victim. Nobody is immune. Nobody. It's only when you are properly informed about this that you can make an informed decision. Why did I say this? In 2011, because of this, our grassroots sensitization, with NAPTIP, we were able to identify a young man who the mother happened to be a rector in a federal polytechnic. And he was doing well with the father's business, their late father's business. But because the mother has been enlightened with our grassroots messages, the first son who graduated from Nnamdi Azikiwe University was ready to travel abroad. She called me and said that please, I should come and advise the son that from what she has learned from us, that she can't guarantee that the son will not fall a victim. God giving us the grace, we're able to talk to that one. And she decided to settle down and get married and face his life in Nigeria. Then the younger brother, after their father was late, who inherited their father's business and was doing well, was told that they will send them, but unfortunately that one stopped at secondary school. And they told him he will go travel abroad, I think Canada, whatever they said they were taking them to. And they will go and work. And they were to sew carton color uniform. And you know what carton color is his labor or anything to sew the color. That's the uniform for all of them to identify. But what did they do when I talk about organized crime? These people were able to put up adverts. Oh. They organized trainings and workshops. They got some people who came and talked to these people as bankers, telling them not to get involved in drugs when they get over there. How they can do their how they can support their financial whatever transit they needed, get their $1,000 whatever that they will use to be, when they get over there. There was a lot of, they helped them got their international passport, they helped them do a lot of things. It looks so real that a young man who was working in a bank, for him to make sure, and they say they will go in batches, and for him to be my brothers now, we want to be among the first before, even if others will fail, let us be among. So he even paid extra 500,000 naira to be among the first batch. He was working in a bank, he resigned. The other one, the father got him 120,000 naira monthly salary job. He left that one, want to travel to Canada. And so what we did was, when the woman tried talking to the young man, he felt that mommy is an agent of enemy of progress. And so we decided, okay, play along with him, support him, get, even in prayers, get all necessary details, information about their movement and everything. And we were supplying all these details to NAFTI. NAPTIP is National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. They have the national mandate to enlighten the public, to rescue the victim, arrest the perpetrators, prosecute them, at the same time rehabilitate and reintegrate the victim. So they have this, comprehensive responsibility. Why we have United Nations Office on Drug and Crime that have the global mandate. So we were working with NAPTIP, supplying all these details. And this person was running a migration consultancy firm in whether Oluwele, I think Oluwele is the name, one place in Lagos. NAPTIP investigated and found out before during the investigation, the man absconded. And NAPTIP was able to have access to his office. They catered 9 Ghana must go filled with international passports. And we found out at the end, they actually gathered at the national whatever. They were ready. They told them they are going to travel. Gave them the means, the way they will move, that they have chartered aircraft and everything. At the end, God helped us. Maybe some of us here listening might even hear of this or might have been a victim of what happened. Some youths from other nearby countries, Ghana and others, came in and joined for them to go to Canada to go and work. At the end, NAPTIP was able to intercept 9,600 and whatever fraction of youths that they were ready to move out, smuggle out of this country, and would have abandoned them or sold them to companies, agricultural and industrial construction companies that would have enslaved them in the name. So why I'm saying it is organized. Different people have different roles. At the destination country, there are people who are there. At the country of origin, there are people who are there. At the transit country, there are people who are there. So this is just what I needed to say. And a quick one before we lose it, I missed touching it, is the egg harvesting of our young girls or our undergraduates in the universities.
We will come to that. We will come to that. Thank you very much. Very important point. I don't want you to hurriedly add to your point. Thank you for those points. Thank you. Dr. Temitope, I have a question for you. Can you help us, please? Madam Pope has described horrific picture, painted horrific picture, which is the reality. No matter how horrific it is, it's reality on ground. So can you help us understand the psychological impact of trafficking to the those trafficked? And what does it do to the person's identity and humanity? Thank you.
Okay. In our mind, always in my mind. The more you say it, the more it becomes part of you. And that my destiny is in my hand. Please say it more often. It will help you to align. It will help you to relate more with this family. This is the best family where to be. Now, when we talk about the psychological effect, what we're simply saying is, if the word psyche is a Greek word that describes the mind is the epicenter. That is where the thought originates from. All right, so the thought becomes your words that you express, and the words consequently becomes your behavior, and your behavior becomes your destiny. So that's why you must be careful to check your thoughts. So if the thought is what becomes your word, and your word becomes your behavior. So when we study the behavior of individuals, that is where psychologos come in. The word logos means study or a word, studying human behavior. So when we talk about psychological effect, we're referring to what happens to the behavior. How does it affect your behavior? Okay? Yes, human trafficking affects your worldview, affects your relationship, affects your personality. So that's what we're talking about. So the psychological effect, in specific terms, number one, could result or degenerate into isolation. See individuals beginning to isolate themselves. Depression can set in, and then self-harm can also come in. Suicidal missions can come in. Individuals, desiring to take their lives, right? And before you know what's happening, death can also come in. And far beyond that, you also realize that you become unduly emotionally unstable. You can be very violent on issues, all right? You could have that temperamental attitude incompatible with social norms. You can degenerate into a social deviant. It can even lead you to going into crime. You can go into crime, it can make you to start smoking, start drinking, and it will affect your health too. All of these things are what you should be mindful about. Before you know what's happening, of course, you can lose your identity. Your identity can be lost. And then to humanity, to your human self, you see, all of these things describes the micro, the meso, and the macro society. The micro has to do with the individual, the meso, the group, and then the macro, macro, the larger society. That's where the humanity is. And that's where you should understand. It will degenerate our values, it will degenerate even not only the societal values, it can result into instability. Please understand, I'm a classroom teacher, and pardon my unnecessary use of languages. I really want to give you as many as I can, even at a single spot. I hope I've spoken a little. Thank you very much, ma.
you are you
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. So,
Thank you,
Madam
Prof.
Bob,
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes. Before you ask a question, when Professor Tobe was talking, I just remembered something I just needed to bring in that will also help us to identify as a red light when something begin to happen. He's talked about loss of identity.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that loss of identity starts from the point of when they are preparing documents. Sometimes they will get fake documents or use another person's name. You will lose your name already. They will give you a different name that is not your name.
True.
That is even at that point.
True.
So you've lost your name. You started answering another person's name when you get there. So that is one of it. Then suicidal, a lot of them, all these things that he's saying, suicidal, violent, all these things, you see it when victims are returned back to Nigeria. So this is just what I want to bring to our knowledge. Thank you.
Fantastic. Dr. Madam Hope, you were about talking about the harvesting of eggs. I said, let's leave it. So the next question I want to ask you is, what is the most shocking or heartbreaking trafficking case you've ever encountered in your field work? And did it teach you anything? Thank you. Madam, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay. I wouldn't even know which one I will say and which one I will leave. But I'll just look at maybe just just two scenarios, just two cases. One had to do with a young lady. Okay, three of them. I'll use three of them. A young lady who is a painter, who is an artist, who draws. We understand who is a painter is. He paints well, he draws well, he's an artist. He draws and paints well. And somebody approached her and said, in Nigeria here, it was one of the cases NATI intervened on. Somebody approached her and said, you are doing well. Your painting is good. But you can make money when you get to Kuwait. You can sell it at a higher price, make money in Kuwait. We can help you get to Kuwait, where you will be painting and making money. We will help and assist you. And this person is not a total stranger. And there's nobody that will see an opportunity that will not jump into it. My Messiah has come, opportunity has come for me to make it big. And this young lady accepted. She was helped, facilitated, and she was told when she gets there, they will receive her, there are people. She did not know that she has been sold practically as a slave. I mean, not not you are trafficked and you are being exploited, enslaved. No, this one like a labeled slave. Before I continue, I want to just drop something that some of the practices in the old slavery that is also happening today. Sometimes when these victims come back, we are retrieved, rescued, and brought back to Nigeria. You may see some of them had tattoos on their body. That tattoo is not just fancy. It's a tattoo of labeling of who is the owner. Just like the old slave trade, when they will use maybe initials of the slave master who bought the slave. If the person is Madam Hope, they will use H and use hot iron rod or whatever, design H and use it to put it on the body of the slave. So even if the slave escape ran within that environment, the picker or him, they know this slave belongs to Hope, and they make sure they return the person back to me. So among the human trafficking ring, their madams, they know the owners with the tattoo, they label them. So you cannot even run away. They will still catch you or even sell you. So that one, they are still practicing it. So that is for you to understand what I mean. Now, this lady was practically sold as a slave, the way they were being sold. You remember the definition we gave? It could be for the purpose of slavery. It could be for organ harvesting. It could be for forced prostitution. So this one was practically sold as a slave without her knowing. When she got to Kuwait, they received her and gave her slave clothes, because they are still practicing slavery there. Just like the human traffickers will put their sign, tattoo their whatever ownership on the body of the person. So when they see the uniform, just like you are working as a security person, they know the uniform of this particular company. So they have their slave uniform. They gave her slave uniform and made her to be cleaning, this skyscraper, whatever, I don't know how many story building that this girl will be cleaning from morning to night and not going anywhere. She's being monitored. There's camera and everywhere. And the person in Nigeria who sent her has sold her and collected the money. This is somebody who has left Nigeria to go to Kuwait to work until help come her way and she was rescued, and NAPTIP was able to trace and track the person who sold her as a slave. That's one. The second one was a young lady that was doing well. She was doing well. She was doing hair, plaiting hair, have hair salon and all whatever in Nigeria. And she was told that they will get, she will come over to Russia to come and work, and she will be making her money because Nigerians are there, people are there. She can be plating and making her money in hard currency. But the only way she can come into Russia is they will get admission for her. So they use one of the institutions in Russia, got admission for this young lady. So she entered Russia with a legal document as a student. But when the day she entered Russia, the people were there waiting for her to receive her. She was never taken to the institution. She already knew she wasn't going to the institution. She was going to work, plate Nigerian and African people do their hair because she knows how to do it well and make her money and pay back to the people who helped her. They took her, never got to the institution. The institution were expecting her to arrive, but she never went to the institution. And she was taken to where she would work as a prostitute. When she said this is not what they told her that there's no work of plating here, that this is the work that she had to do. And she had no choice. But the one that break the camel's back was the day she was to sleep with 9 men at once. It's like gang raping. That was how these ladies decided that she rather die, and she jumped from the upstairs, and that was how she fell, and her waist, her waist scattered. She became crippled. It was at that point that she was rescued and brought back in a wheelchair back to Nigeria. The third experience was this lady who read banking and finance in Nigeria. She was promised to go and work in Europe, in Brussels. And she was given another name and was brought into Europe. When she got there, somebody came to the airport to receive her. The young man drove her to the place where she met other young Nigerian ladies. And they were getting ready to go to work. And she was told just to rest that day, tomorrow she would dress up and join others. And she never knew the type of job she was coming to do. The other girls had to tell her, you better do what Madam said you would do if you want to remain alive. And the young man who received her from the airport, his work there, as far as they know, is that he's also a Nigerian. His work is to make sure if they have any repairs, he does carpentry. Any repairs, he uses left hand to use his hammer, and he uses it to repair any little whatever they needed. And he's the one that also go to receive people from airports and do this. But they never knew that his work is beyond that. He monitors every of their movements. So these girls are permitted to go out to the red light streets, go and do their work and come back. So when after this girl has been subjected and that subdued, that she must do this work, and she must be remitting the money every weekend to the trafficker who based in Nigeria. Her parents, unfortunately, this girl is the only child of her parents. Her parents, she was hoping that if she worked, she would be sending money to her parents. But when they now told her she'll be remitting her money back to Nigeria to that man in Lagos who facilitated her coming to Nigeria. And this girl had no choice, keep doing this, crying within her, lamenting. Her document has been removed, everything, and they have made her to know at the end, the painful aspect of it is where I'm going to now. At the end, this girl, in the course of her work, a young man who is a customer fell in love with her, and she confided in him. And the young man was promised to help her escape from that enslavement. He has his own house. This lady will visit the man, come back and everything. She never knew that this young man who brought her was monitoring her movement. That's until that very day, for the first time, she felt that freedom is coming her way. Let her send money at least to her parents for once. And she did not send to the trafficker in Nigeria that day, and rather sent money to her parents. And the young man who is her boyfriend, who loved her, also goes to work. So that day, after she has finished, she decided to buy one or few things from the supermarket and went to the guy's house to go and cook and wait for him to come back. Immediately she entered into the house. She had a bell, the doorbell, and only for her to open the door and saw the young man who received her. She was wondering, but the young man just told her, please let her come. There is something he has to tell her. Immediately, this young lady stepped out of that house. He used that same hammer with his left hand he normally used to repair doors, but that wasn't his main assignment. His main assignment he used hammer to kill this lady and dump her body in a trash bin. And the next thing is that they now communicated to the other girls and to the family that the lady had died. That was how she lost her life. So these are just few three I can share. We have a lot of many others, but let me just leave it here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Mo. You see, Dr. Temitope, I have a question for you. We talk mostly of Madam Hope have talked about NAPTIP. NAPTIP, they are how they rescued. They went to rescue this. They talk about a lot of rescue for this trafficked people. So, from a human rights perspective, is rescuing these victims, is it enough? How should government respond to not just I know I wrote traffic victim, but the criminals? The criminals. What should be the punishment? And if you know the current punishment, you can tell us. Madam Hope, I also want to know, NAPTIC, what is the punishment for the criminals? Because if it's just about rescuing, I continue to do my job while you continue to rescue. Dr. Temitope. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm trying to unmute my mind. My destiny is in my hand. Please, can I beg, if it is possible, we can dedicate a special day in a year to celebrate Nurse Angel. We can call it the Nurse Angel Day.
Oh, yes, so
Because how do we celebrate a hero? You see, that's a gap. In academics, there's what we call a gap. It could be a knowledge-based gap. It could be a methodological gap, a theoretical gap. There could be a gap of different forms. There is a gap. We don't celebrate heroes. We don't celebrate people who help build the world and make the world a happy place. We should celebrate Nurse Angel. Before looking at what the punishment from the government looks like, what specifically we're saying is we need to really celebrate Nurse Angel. Please, everyone listening, you are inexcusable. You don't have a justification. Can I tell you something essential? Yes, Nurse Angel is in Europe. Wonderful. But honestly, I've come to say to myself, those of us in Nigeria, those of us in Africa, wherever you are in any part of the world, Create a sense of appreciation for yourself. Have a right image about yourself. Don't think until you travel to another country before you make it in life. Be happy. Be happy. Because it is your weakness people explore to maximize their financial base. Please, let's be much more conscious. Let's be careful. So, from the human right perspective, yes, it is not all about rescue. No, that's not correct. Of course, there is the victim, who is also referred to as the survivor. Then there are those who perpetrate those crimes. Yes, for the victim, the first thing to do is to reduce the pain by rescuing them, create an avenue for safety for them by whatever any means that the government can do is to do that. And far beyond that, it is also to rehabilitate them. You know, you want to refurbish them, you want to make them back to think normal again, to gain back their normal life and find reasons to be happy and reasons to rejoice for being alive and to make profitable use of their life for the better days ahead. All right? And then that is where the reintegration, reorientation comes in, and then rebuilding the life, and then reintegrating them into the family and into the society, their family back again, and build a healthy life. Now, it's not all about rescuing, it's to give you meaning for life. Now, let's now come back to look at those who perpetrate this crime. Those who perpetrate this crime. What's the punishment? Yes, in Nigeria, it is inscribed in the law. In nations of the world, it's also inscribed in the law. And from international treaties, there are also international agreements, international documentations, international bodies that also work to reduce and curb the problem associated with this human trafficking, organ trafficking. Actually, the punishment is about imprisonment. In Nigeria, it is years imprisonment ranging between 10 to 25. But if you look at sometimes the litigation procedures, you look at those processes, it is very cumbersome, compared to nations like in Europe or in America, where it is explicit, non-negotiable. All right, look at what happened to the former DSP, the Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, Senator Ike Ikweremadu. If it was in Nigeria, that man, I can assure everyone listening on this page that using his position, he may be found to be, he may exempt himself and his wife. But in Britain, in Europe, you see, it is explicit. The law has no regard for any personality. You have to face the music and dance the music. And now I'm sure he's still there in detention. All right? Now, but again, the punishment is all about life imprisonment, years imprisonment. They are not sufficient. Can I give you two examples? There are nations like Malaysia, nations like Saudi Arabia. Of course, the argument is against capital punishment. All right? Why should you kill? Okay, let's stop killing. Okay? But the point is, these persons, by law, the crime they are committing is also same against life. They kill. And in those days, he who killed by the sword should die by the sword. These persons are synonymous to murderers. They are not manslaughters, they are murderers. So for me, beyond just, making lip services, yes, the laws demands that they can lose their properties, not in Nigeria, maybe not in Africa, because our laws are usually manipulated by the rich,
Yes.
and the rich feels above the law. But it's a function of time. If most of you who have read the works written by George Orwell, animal farm. Beast of England, beast of Ireland, beast of every land and clime. The old major is there in the animal farm. Mr. Jones is there. A day came, Mr. Jones was driven out of the farm. Let the African leaders who feel they can consistently manipulate the process, subjugate the rule of law, and consistently subjugate the poor. Continue. A day will come, Mr. Jones will be asked to leave the farm. The only pain would then be hereafter. Some animals begin to feel they are more equal than the other. That's our problem. How do you then resolve those issues? So the punishments are very specific. Number one, it has to do with years imprisonment. Number two, loss of properties. Number three, of course, there are just four things that the law does, apart from incarcerating an individual and then asking the law of retribution to come in. But beyond that, I think we should begin to take more stiffer penalty. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Hope. I will want you to throw more light on it just quickly because we are now almost 20 minutes late. But another question I want to ask you, Madam Hope, is this. How can ordinary Nigeria, this is the question the farm members have been asking, and it's one of the questions. How can ordinary Nigerians or people watching from wherever they are, how can they spot trafficking around them? What are the signs that we should not ignore? Because I asked, do you know people that are trafficked? They say yes, 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 yes. So how do we know who and who is trafficked when we see them? What's this likely thing we see? Thank you. Madam Hope, you're muted.
Okay. Well, before I respond to that question, let me throw a little light to the functions of NAPTIP and the provisions of the law.
Yeah, quickly, yeah.
Yes, a quick one, a quick one. You know, the Palermo Protocol is the UN convention against human trafficking and that of smuggling of migrants. And Nigeria has Nigeria own trafficking in persons administrative and prohibition and enforcement law. Initially, that was 2003, and later it was repealed. And we had the recent TPR Act. We call it TPR Act. That's Trafficking in Persons Administration, Enforcement, and Prohibition Law, Protection and Prohibition, which was signed by Goodluck in 2015. This law was they looked at some of the loopholes and lapses during the first one in the prosecution, and also brought in, remember we said that trafficking ends in exploitation. They make money, billions of money from this. So one good thing that NAPTIP does, apart from rescuing the victim, apart from enlightening the public to, show different ways people can be lured to become a victim, apart from that prevention act, they equally protect and assist the victim, rehabilitate and reintegrate them. At the same time, they prosecute the offenders. Now, the one good thing about the present TPR Act, it has also created room to ensure that even the properties and whatever money or whatever the trafficker is being, what do they call it? Confiscated. That's it. Sometimes they will either put a seal, make sure that no transaction, they don't have access to their monies in the bank and everything. So at the end of prosecution, if the person ranging from because it's a whole law, you cannot look at each one, they which part is your own for organ harvesting, is it for prostitution, is it for this. They put all form of punishment for all forms of trafficking, whether external or internal. And we say it's an organized crime. So the prosecution, if it's the people that are in Nigeria that they can easily arrest and prosecute, they will do that within Nigeria. If they are the people, like, because it's organized, people are the receiving end at the destination country. Some of them are also Nigerians, or they might not be Nigeria. They work with that country. That's why they enter into bilateral, multilateral agreements and everything. They also work with Interpol, where even some of the victims could be maybe from Nigeria. They got information, they work with the destination country, they rescue and return them, and they help to arrest the perpetrators. Sometimes they bring them back to Nigeria for prosecution. Sometimes they have been prosecuted in the destination country, just like the other man that who was based in London, and he was prosecuted over there, was given 20 years imprisonment, who traffic our girls from Nigeria. So the prosecution could take place in the destination country, it could take place in Nigeria, wherever they are, they lay their hands on the perpetrators. So this is what they are doing. And now that money, that property, they can dispose the property. The money they made from it is put in what they call the victim trust fund. It's from this victim trust fund they are now using for the rehabilitation, the skills, those that want to go to school, those that actually went there for education, or that after coming back they want to enroll, they enroll them to university. Some of them have graduated and given job. So those that will go into skill, they train them in different pools of interest or business, they get them established. All this money is coming from the money that was recovered from the trafficker, the money that these victims has been exploited for. They now put it in the trust fund and they use it for their rehabilitation and reintegration. That's just the light I want to throw. Then back to the question
Quickly,
you asked. The
science.
question you asked about the science. It starts from, we don't have Father Christmas. Nobody is Father Christmas. Anybody that is sweet-tonguing you, of helping you to get, document, to get to abroad to work and this and that, we know that is actually difficult. But most of the times, we find out that there are some things I mentioned that can even help us, especially when they start to tell you, don't let people know, don't tell others. Some girls, especially our teenage adolescent girls, those young ones, they lure them and tell them that their parents should not know, or even tell the parents that they shouldn't make it public, so that their enemies will not fight against them. So they were hiding it and thinking that so that their daughter nobody will leak the secret. When it becomes something that shouldn't be made public, that is number one red sign. Another thing is when the documents are being also, another fake name is being used and telling you that you cannot use your name. They can use somebody's document who is there to help you come inside. They use another genuine document of somebody who is residing over there. That's the only way you can use it to come in. And that's another red sign. So when they begin to promise you all heaven and earth, the truth remains that for us, migration contributes to the development, economic and development of both country of origin and destination. We always say that, for me, I will always say that it's better the money you will mobilize to use to go out of this country. You rather find a problem around you and look out for solution and use that money to use it to solve that problem and make your money. So when there are some things that you begin to question, this deception, they will sponsor you. When you get there, you work and pay them. There is somebody who is there to receive you and give you accommodation. All these are part of the lies that could trigger. So you can ask question, and even you need to know the name of the company, or where they say you were going to work. This is a global village. You can key and search the company's name and find out what they are doing. Though that some of them might even sound genuine, but there might be other red flags. Ask questions. You can even investigate, find out from the embassy of the country they say they are taking you to. Ask questions from there, they will give you. There are some other migration resource centers in Nigeria, especially in Lagos and Abuja. They have migration resource centers where you can go there and ask questions and give information about whatever anybody is telling you. And even this Canada of a thing, they'll tell you there is job and all those stuff. You can do your own investigation and find out if what they are telling you is even genuine and all those stuff. So there are many ways. Even in other states, you can go to states. They have what do you call it? Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, be productivity in the states and at the national. You can go to their offices and ask questions. You may find out whether people, that place they are saying or whatever, whether they are genuine. There's a lot of, and above all, no matter what your belief is, you can pray about it and seek guidance from the God that you believe in. Me, I believe in the living God. I seek his face and ask. He can guide, and he has a way of revealing and speaking to us in many ways. Or revealing if those people were deceiving, and you may bring out something that will make your eyes to open to realize that this is a trap. So that's where I conclude.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, there is someone that asked if victims are stigmatized. Of course, yes. Victims are indeed stigmatized. And I want to say the stigmatization of victims comes in a number of ways and forms. One, community rejection. Community rejection. Many survivors, especially girls, because they were trafficked for sex. When they come back home and you say they rescued them, they were used for sexual, they were exploited sexually, people start blaming them, calling them prostitutes. And even culturally, you see them, nobody wants to marry them. They'll say they are unworthy, they are spoiled, oh, they were ex-prostitutes. And so, yes, they are victimized. Also, religious judgment. They will say they are fornicators and what have you. Look at, if you hear yourself, let's be honest, if you hear that someone was sleeping with dogs, will you want to? So they do suffer a lot of stigmatization, even institutional bias. Institution like law enforcers, our law enforcers, they look at them as criminals. Let's imagine the young boys that are forced into cyber cafe crimes, locked up to commit crimes. So when they are being caught, these people were doing it by force. They lure them, they seize their document, they beat them up, and they make them commit crimes. When they catch them that they are criminals, which is because they were trafficked to do that, they still look at them as criminals, and they want to punish them for offenses which they had to commit under coercion. So yes, they are stigmatized. What about mental health stigmatization? Of course, that is the barber that Professor talked about. They continue to see trauma, as he said, emotional wounds. They have PTSD. They have depression. They have anxiety and whatnot. So I'm looking at the time. I will say, if you ask me, farm members, let's know that stigmatization is dangerous. It's not easy, but look at them as victims, not victimizers. Let's know that, you see, one thing it does to the trafficked victims is that they keep silent. They don't want to talk. They want to hide. And let's be honest, when they keep silent, what happened? They suffer alone. They suffer alone. Mental health, everything, isolation, sleepless night. They suffer without help. And also, when they keep silent, when they are silent, they protect the traffickers. Because one way, like Dr. Temito and Madam Hope have said, that victims, criminals, used to trap these people and take them to trafficking. They tell you to keep quiet. And because of stigmatization they will face, they continue to keep quiet. They, in so doing, they protect the traffickers. They protect the traffickers. Fewer people come forward. Nobody talks about it. They are hiding. The traffickers continue to recruit and traffic others. It blocks recovery. Healings becomes difficult. Anyway, I'm looking at time. It's time to go. This topic is emotional, to say but the least. It's really, truly
Can I
emotional.
just say something before we go?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, when we talk about stigmatization and there are an aspect of this trafficking, like I said, that we call smuggling of migrants. Where you even think, say, this person is an agent, your own is to, no, they are not sponsoring you, you are the one that will pay them. They will help you make paper, they will just help you move you into the country and get connections for you. When you get there, you think that you are free to make your money. That nobody, it's not as if when you get there, you start working to pay them back because you have already paid them. But these are people that most of the times on the transit, they work, the traffickers and smugglers, in fact, the traffickers are the smugglers. They work hand in hand. Sometimes they will even in the process, they will even start using you for forced labor, or they will even force you to traffic drugs. And all these things. And sometimes some of them are even where they harvest their organs, or sometimes they gather them and see irregular migrants that are entering illegal to another country and pack them in the organ harvesting farm where they will be picking them to butcher and collect their organs and all these things. Some of them that actually maybe were intercepted or maybe somehow rescued and brought back. The shame of coming back, some of them have actually borrowed money. Some of them have sold their land with the hope when they get there, they'll make money, only for them to be forced into labor or enslaved one way or the other, or used for drug trafficking. When they are being arrested and deported or brought back, the people in the community, they will not, the shame will not even allow them to come back because their parents are owing debts. They were hoping for him to come back and repay the debt or send the money or come back to buy land that they have sold their only land. So the shame of coming back a failure, a disappointment, they might even be hanging around within Lagos and be looking for maybe the other one didn't work. Let me see if I can now go into another African country. From there like that. We have seen what is happening in Ghana today, how we are flooding all within all our African countries and everything. So the people in the community, your friends, your family, everybody see you as a failure is another stigmatization. And they won't want to come back into it. They'll rather go and even because they're being exposed, they might even go back and join the syndicates and start being part of the trafficking and smuggling, deceiving others and luring them, telling them that when they travel before, they know people, they know this. Meanwhile, they are just trying to also join in the business to make their own money.
Thank you
So
very
all
much.
these things are,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Dr. Temitope, in your last statement, I think Madam Hope has given us something. What is the connection between poverty, human rights violation, and trafficking? And give us your summary for today. We have to go. You're muted back. Press it just once. Yeah, good, good. You can
Okay.
speak now. You're muted back. You're muted back. You're muted. You're muted. Yeah,
Thank you
continue.
very much. In our mind, always in my mind, my destiny is in my hand. Again, for me, I sincerely want to celebrate and appreciate Nurse Angel. Thank you very much. I can't cease to sing your praises, man. There is a connection. Let me do it this way, mathematically, so that we'll appreciate the knowledge. When poverty increases, human traffic will increase. When poverty increases and the violation of the rule of law is on the increase, then obviously it debases and destroys the society. So there is a connection. Do you all appreciate the fact that if we all are well to do and we are all happy, you will worry less about your neighbor and their problems, except
Correct.
for familiarity and visitations? So please, what we're simply saying is, one, what is poverty? For the basics, for simple knowledge, they were talking here about economic poverty. Don't forget there can be knowledge poverty. You can be deficient and you have no knowledge. You are said to be knowledge poor. That's poverty in knowledge. Yes, economic poverty here is referring to one, your inability to feed yourself as required. You don't have basic amenities, means psychological needs cannot be cared for. You can't feed well. You don't have money for clothes. You don't have money for accommodation, for shelter. And like the world will say, the World Bank, as well as the IMF, when you are feeding below $1 per day, that actually describes most of the society and the citizens in Africa. Again, what that actually tells us is that we have that class struggle where we have people who are excessively and extremely rich, and this wealth is our common wealth. They stole our common wealth for selfish gain, for self-aggrandizement, financial gains. Now let's get back to reality. What we're simply saying is that when there is poverty in the land, people don't have food to eat. People don't have clothes. They don't have shelter. And because of this pain of lack, everybody can tell them lies and then they will believe. What you will now see is you now see an increased space
Wow.
eat. Can you ask that question? Why is it difficult to traffic humans from America? There,
Fantastic.
their basic needs are cared for. And I've argued Nigeria, there should be the justiciability of Article 2 of our own law, who talks about the social welfare, all right? It should be justiciable, not only the Article 4 that is justiciable. When that is justiciable, it will improve our poverty, to take poverty away from the land. Thank you very much, Nosenja.
Thank you very much. You hit the nail on the head. How many British will you traffic to Nigeria to come and work? So right now, I want to say a call for action. Someone is being lured. Right now, Dr. Temitope and Madam Hope, as we speak, someone is being lured with lies. As we speak, farm members, I want to say that someone is being trapped. Someone, I saw a farm member that says someone wanted to deceive them, and thank God they escaped it. Someone right now is being trapped in fear, and stripped of their freedom. It could be your neighbor. It could be a family member. It could be your child. It could be your cousin. It could be your brother or sister. Even your parents. Yes, that is how bad it is. And silence is no longer an option for members. If you can hear me, silence should not be an option. If you see something, say something. I repeat, if you see something, please say something. And I want you to share this message wherever you are. Click on the share button. Today, I want you and I'm asking you, share this talk show. Let your friend, your neighbor, your enemy, let them see what our professor and Dr. Hope have said tonight. And I want you to report suspicious behavior. Oh, it's a fake false alarm. It's better to be false than to be real and they go unexposed. Please, if you think someone is hiding, fearful, and disappears, please report them missing. Report that there is something wrong. This is not their normal way. Report for them to get support. Survivor-led organization can also help us. I put up, and I'll put it up again. I put up NAPTIV. NAPTIV. Madam Hope have been talking about NAPTIV. I quickly searched it up. I want you to know tonight, farm members, as we close, it's 8 o'clock already, your voice, your action, your courage, they matter, because trafficking thrives when people do and say nothing. Just listen, I didn't say when good people, I say when people, whether bad people, do and say nothing. So on that note, it's already 8 o'clock. Dr. Temitope, let's do a quick dance so family member will not be sad tonight. I'm already sad. I'm not happy tonight because the topic is not a good one. I don't like it. But let's just quickly dance and go. Fam members, I will leave the, what do you call it? Stand up, let's dance. Then if we have 1 more minute, we may come back again next time. Dr. Temitope, let's dance. If he's gone, I don't think I will dance because I'm not happy. Dr. Temitope, stand up, let's dance. There was something you said, and I said we'll dance to the song. You said, now you know. And I remember Flavor said it as well.
If you know, you know. But if you don't know, I don't know. Now you know. Now you know. If you know, you know. You think you don't last in town. Now you know. Now you know. Never get fooled. Forget what I know. How much is money? Balling. Premium or nothing. Now you know. Now you know. Never get fooled. Forget what I know. Undisputed, all of those, lost 3 or 90. Money is talking, money is talking. Blessings on blessings, forget what I know them there. How much is money? Balling. Premium or nothing. Now you know. Now you know. Never get fooled. Forget what I
Yeah, we have to end. We have to end because the time is gone. It's past 10 o'clock. People have to go to bed. I want to say that this topic, honestly, I'm not happy. We will be coming back again, most likely. Let's have a part 2. The part 2, Madam Hope, I know you guys want to talk, but we have to end. It's not fair. We shouldn't stay up to 2 hours at all. We'll come back for part 2 to say ways to avoid trafficking and call to action, what to do to prevent being trafficked, and also empower people to talk to people they know about trafficking. Please, family members, don't go home, don't sleep tonight without sharing this talk show. We need you to share it so people can be safe. In our mind, it's always in my mind, and my destiny is definitely in my hands. Madam Hope, apologies, Dr. Temitope. Let's allow them to go. It's past 10. Yeah, we'll come again for a part 2. Thank you. You guys have done well. I couldn't have done it without you. Dalo.
Yeah, good night.